Hi everyone, this is Selina. Welcome back to one of my videos. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Selina and I release a crochet tutorial every week. And this week I'm bringing to you this absolutely lovely poncho. It's really cute and feminine and it's really easy to crochet. So yes, I'm really excited about this new tutorial. And so, as always, the free pattern will be available on my blog, selinaveronique.com. The link will be in the down bar. And I will be crocheting size SM on camera. However, you can crochet any size you want. This pattern is inclusive. It goes from size S to triple XL. So make sure to check out the free pattern to crochet whichever size you prefer, and you can watch along this tutorial no problem. If you have the free written pattern available on my blog, you just need to switch up a few things, but it's really easy, so don't worry. So yeah, it's a really easy project. It features the beautiful and feminine V-stitch. I absolutely adore it, and it has a very simple shape. You can check out my blog for lots of pictures of this project. For this project, I used 5 skeins of this yarn, which is Lion Brand Yarns jeans yarn. I say 5 skeins, but it's really 4 skeins and a teeny bit of the 5th skein. But yes, you will be needing 5 skeins. And this is a really beautiful soft yarn. It's a medium 4 yarn. And it's 100% acrylic, and this is shade Faded, and it's a really beautiful shade. I absolutely adore it. I'm very excited about this, and yes, I hope you enjoy this yarn as much as me. It was my first time using this yarn and I really loved it. You will also be needing a 6mm crochet hook, as well as a pair of scissors and tapestry needle. And you will also be needing some stitch markers. This is optional. I just used a random piece of yarn. It was just for when we were crocheting the edges. It can be a bit easier if you place a stitch marker, but again, this is completely optional. I will be using US terms with British terms in brackets. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for a crochet tutorial every week. Like, comment and subscribe. And also thank you so much to all my loyal patrons who are supporting me on Patreon. If you would like to be part of that, I will be linking my Patreon channel in the down bar, as well as all my socials. And without further ado, I'm just going to jump into the tutorial. Okay, so to begin this tutorial, we will be making the front and back panel, and both those panels are identical. The measurements will be written on my blog and pattern, so you can find my blog linked in the down bar with the pattern, free pattern, at selinaveronique.com. So for this part of the project, again, we will be making size SM, and for all the other sizes, just check out the free pattern linked in the down bar to know the exact number of chains you are going to be needing. Obviously, this is a very simple pattern, so the only thing that will change in between sizes is the number of chains we will be chaining at the beginning, so what I'm going to show you now, and the number of rows you are going to be making. Again, everything is written in the pattern, so don't worry about that if you want to make a different size from the size S/M, which I'm going to demonstrate and tell you exactly what to do, how many chains to make and how many rows and so on. So to begin, you will be making a slip knot, so just go ahead and create your slip knot. Pop your hook through and tighten, and you will be chaining 62, so just go ahead and chain 62. 1, 2, 3, Okay, so I've chained less, but you should have 62 or more depending on which size you are making. However, I'm just making a sample and the principle is the exact same. So once you have your 62 chains, just go ahead and count 1, 2, 3, and 4 chains from the hook. And once you've located that fourth chain from the hook, you are simply going to be placing 2 double crochets within that chain. So to create your double crochet, you are going to be wrapping your yarn around your hook, going directly into the chain, pull up a loop like this. You've got 3 loops on your hook, take your yarn and pull through 2 loops, take your yarn and pull through 2 loops, and that's your first double crochet. Now you are going to be going back into that chain with another double crochet, so just go ahead and go back into that same stitch with a double crochet, and this creates your first V-stitch. And this chain here this chain 3 here counts as your first double crochet. Obviously this will straighten out as we go along, and I also want to take this opportunity to say that this is the old-fashioned double crochet. So, not double crochet, the old-fashioned V-stitch, meaning that it's just 2 double crochets together in one stitch that create a V-stitch. So I'm just saying this because sometimes I get comments or emails saying, oh, you made a mistake, the V-stitch is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. But no, it's not a mistake, that's the pattern. This is a stitch I discovered in a really old book from, I think it was the 1970s, and I thought it was so interesting that they used to do the V-stitch this way, and I think it looks really nice. So yeah, so this is just my little precision that I wanted to say. So once you've created your first V-stitch, you are going to be skipping a chain and going directly into the next chain with another V-stitch. So just simply 2 double crochets together. So 1 and 2. And that's another V-stitch. Now skip a chain and go into the next chain with 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Now skip a stitch and go into the next with another double crochet. So as you can see, our pattern is coming along really nicely. Okay, so as you can see, our V-stitch pattern is coming along nicely. Like I said, this will all make sense as you go along. So it's very easy, just once you've done another V-stitch, just skip a chain, go into the next chain with a V-stitch. Once again, obviously your row will be a lot longer than mine because you will have 62 chains in total. And now we have 2 chains left, and to finish off this first row, we are going to be skipping a chain and going into the last chain with just 1 double crochet. So skip a chain and go into the last double crochet in the last chain with a double crochet on its own, and this is what we have. Okay, so now for row 2, it's very simple. You are going to be chaining 3, 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work, and this counts as your first double crochet. And we will always be starting with a simple double crochet and finishing off with a simple double crochet row after row. And now what you will be doing is placing a V-stitch directly into the V-stitch from the previous row. So just go ahead and place 2 double crochets directly into that space here. And just go directly into the next V-stitch. So the next V-stitch is here. and just go directly into that with another V-stitch. 1, 2, and just simply go into the next V-stitch. And then go into the next V-stitch with another V-stitch. So you see, this is a very simple and therapeutic stitch. It's very easy. So now we've got one V-stitch left. As I said, you should have more than me. So just go directly into that last V-stitch with a V-stitch, and you finished all your V-stitches for this row. And what you are going to be doing is finishing your row with a simple double crochet that you will be placing at the top of the chain 3 from the previous row. So just go ahead and place a double crochet into that chain 3 at the top of the chain 3 from the previous row to finish off this this row. And this is what it looks like. So it's really nice. And now this pattern is simply going to be a repeat of row 2 over and over. So chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work and just simply repeat. This counts as our first double crochet, and now you are simply going to be repeating your rows row after row. So just place your V-stitch into that and your next V-stitch into the next V-stitch, and just carry this on, repeating row 2 over and over. Just place all your V-stitches into the V-stitches from the previous row, and then obviously always finish with a simple double crochet at the top of the chain 3 from the previous row, and just repeat row 2 over and over until you reach 62 rows for size SM. So, and repeat this for the back panel, so we can just say that both panels are exactly the same. So if this is your front panel, just complete it. And as I said, for size SM, there will be 62 rows. If you are making a different size, just go ahead and check out the free pattern in the link in the down bar to see how many rows you need for the size that you've chosen, and repeat the exact same thing a second time so that you have 2 identical panels that will create your poncho. So just go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back once you finished your 2 panels to show you how to finish off your poncho and create the border. So I've got both my panels. This is what I have. Once again, if you want the exact dimensions, just head over to my blog and those will be written down. And now I'm just going to show you a short clip that I have filmed with my phone with my project on the floor, because it's a lot easier to understand what to do, and because it's a large project. So I'm just going to show you that clip, and then I'll get back to you to show you how to sew in your project. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to place your project, your 2 panels like this, before I start sewing at the table. So as you can see, I've placed my projects one on top of the other, and they form an L shape. And this is what you want to have. Obviously, this is too large for me to show on the table, which is why I'm doing this now before I go back there and show you the sewing. So what you are going to be doing is taking this panel and flipping it like this. So sorry about this. So there we go. This is what you want to have to begin with, and I will show you again once we are at the table, but I'm just going to explain briefly. Once you have your project like this, we will be sewing this seam in, okay? And this is the first seam we will be sewing. Obviously, I will be showing you how to do this. And once you've sewed this seam, what we will be doing is flipping the project over and then sewing the second seam. But I'm just going to show you how it's going to look. So this is how I've folded it. So as you can see, I folded it underneath. This isn't well folded, but I will do it better once we will be sewing it for real. It's just to show you, and we will be sewing these seams together, but this will make sense as we go along. And as you can see, this forms the shape of your panel. So yeah, I thought I would show you that before going to the table and showing you how to sew this in. So I've placed my project as I showed you in the short video from my phone just now. I formed an L. Obviously the project is too large to show on my table, but I'll show you like this. So an L-shaped form has been made, and this is what I have. I'm simply going to be flipping this part here like I just showed you, and we will start sewing this seam in. So it's really simple. I've still got a loose end left. I don't think it will be long enough to sew the whole seam in, but that's okay. I'll just attach another piece of yarn and finish the seam like that. And I'm going to start seaming at the top here. So just make sure, or you can start, actually it might be even better to start at the bottom. So I'm actually going to attach a piece of yarn to the bottom of this project. Okay, so we are going to be starting our stitches at the bottom here. So as you can see, I've attached a long piece of yarn and I've popped my sewing tapestry needle through, and I'm just going to zoom in to show you how I'm going to be sewing this in. Obviously make sure your project is nice and symmetrically placed. And so this is what we are going to be doing. Sorry, there we go, so you can see it properly. I'm just going to be using the mattress stitch to sew this project in. And the mattress stitch, you can use whichever stitch you prefer, but the mattress stitch is really nice because it creates a more seamless stitch, and that's because you are just going to go from one side to the other. So you go through one side, through the other side like this, and then through this side once again, and then through the other side, and so on. So I hope you can see on camera. It's really easy. I'm not going to spend too long on this. Just know that you are going to be going from one side to the other, and it's just going to be creating a more seamless stitch. So I'm just going to let you carry this on until you reach the top, and then I'll get back to you to show you how to finish sewing this project in. So I'm back and I finished sewing this seam in, as you can see. So now I'm simply going to fasten off. So I've not fastened off yet, and I'm just gonna tie a knot here gently. We don't want it to pull on the work or the stitch, and this was a loose end that I had, and I've tied it quite well, and I'm just going to leave these two loose ends to sew them in later. And this is what we have. So the first side of the poncho is sewed. Now what you will be doing is flipping over your project. So just flip it over. I hope you can see on camera. So as you can see, I flipped it over. The seam is now hidden. You are going to adjust this as best you can here. I mean, make it all nice and symmetrical is what I mean. And now you are simply going to be doing the exact same thing that we've already done, i.e. wrapping this part over here and sewing in this seam, as you can see, and this will create the neck opening here once we've sewed the seam, and this will be the bottom of the poncho. So yeah, it's really easy. So just make sure it's all nice and straight. You can readjust this as you go along, and I suggest you start sewing from the bottom up. I think it'll be easier, definitely easier. So I'll just let you repeat the process that we've just done. Tie on a piece of yarn, and then using the mattress stitch, just go up the seam and then fasten off, and then I'll show you how to finish off this poncho. Okay, so we finished stitching our whole poncho together, and now it has the poncho shape. So it's really exciting, and what we are going to be doing is creating a small edging around the neck. So this is my neck opening, and we want to create a little edging that will make this a little neater. So what we are going to be doing is creating a row of single crochets all around this neck edging. So to do this, we are going to be attaching our yarn to any stitch. As you can see, this is the wrong side of the stitches, and as you know, I call the wrong side of the stitches where the stitch doesn't start, if that makes sense. So this is the side of each double crochet, so it doesn't you don't have like an actual stitch into which you are going to be placing your stitches. I hope this is making sense. So what you are going to be doing is choosing a place on this edging. So just choose any place. I'm just going to choose this stitch and attach your yarn. There we go, I've attached my yarn. And now we are going to be popping our hook through, chain 1, and we are going to be placing single crochets all around this edge. So I'm just going to zoom in a bit. So it's really easy, just go into the next stitch. I am going to be fastening in my loose end as I go, and for your first single crochet, pop your hook through any stitch. As you can see, this is the loose end. Pull up a loop. You've got 2 loops on your hook, and take your yarn and pull through 2 loops, and that's a single crochet. Now just go into the next stitch that you can find with a single crochet, and just go into the next. And the important thing to think about is that you want your single crochets to be evenly spaced out, but you also don't want them to be too tight. So you don't want your single crochets to be too tightly placed along the edge, if that makes sense, because you don't want to bunch up your project. So just try and place them as evenly as you possibly can. There is no specific amount of stitches that you need for this part, so just go ahead and place as many single crochets as you want, and I'll meet you back once we've finished this row. What I do recommend, what I am going to be doing, is placing a stitch marker on the first chain here, because it will be a lot easier after once we've finished this round to recognize the chain 1 that we did. So I'm just gonna place a stitch marker, which is just a piece of yarn in my case, just in that chain 1 that we did. Just pull a piece of yarn, any piece of yarn, and that will indicate your first stitch where you will be needing to slip stitch at the end, but I will be showing you this. So there we go. Now just carry on, and then obviously when you reach you know, the different corners or whatever, just carry on, just place single crochets all the way around. I will be attaching my loose ends into my stitches as I go. So yeah, I'll just let you do that and then I'll get back to you once you've reached the beginning. So I've gone all the way around and I've reached my my stitch marker. Right here, I'm just going to take it out like this. Okay. And so I'm going to slip stitch to the first chain one that we did here, like so. So I've slip stitched and now I'm going to fasten off and pull through this loop like that. There we go. And we have our the top of our poncho. So now I'm just going to show you how to create the bottom edging. Obviously I'm going to go into detail with this, and then yeah, our super amazing poncho will be good to go. So now I'm going to show you the bottom edging. So this is our bottom edging. As you can see, it creates like a double V kind of thing. So what you are going to be doing is the exact same thing that we've just done for the neck. I just find that if we place a single crochet edging all the way around this project, it will just look super simple but super amazing too. I don't think this this poncho needs much more than a simple edging at the bottom. Let me know what you think in the comments, but I just think that a simple single crochet edging will be just perfect. So just again, tie your yarn to your project like this. So just go ahead and attach your yarn to your project, and you are simply going to be chaining one. And again, just repeat what I've just showed you. Once again, this is the wrong side of the stitches. So just go ahead and place single crochets evenly all the way around, and then I'll get back to you to show you how to finish off this project. Okay, so I've gone round the whole project, the bottom of the project, and I've reached the beginning first chain, excuse me, and just slip stitch through that to finish off this round. And now just fasten off, and you will be tidying up your loose ends if you have any. Okay, so I finished this project. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. I love this bottom edging, it's so nice. Don't forget to head over to my blog selinaveronique.com for extra photos, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.